Hello everyone, what is up? I am Darth and welcome to the dark side of this channel. Today I'm going to be doing a let's play of one of my favorite games of all time, namely Laxius Power. Now, I am doing this on this channel just to help my friend out a little bit, make some videos for him, try to get some different content from what he does, trying to little branch out in that sense. And my main focus is these kind of RPGs, usually RPG Maker games, because I really adore, especially really this series, I really adore these games. And this specific game is called Laxius Power Random Story, made by King, aka In the Narrow Falls. Now, this is a let's play mainly focused on watching how to play the game, where to find items, how to solve dungeons, generally how to progress through the game on the hardest difficulty. It's not really going to be focused on doing the dialogue or stuff, so I'm just going to skim through dialogue and explain on the way what the dialogue is about. So in this case, the dialogue is about the guy. You can see two dead people in the middle of the screen. They just died to a venomous poison, so to speak, and they're trying to perfect that poison so that it can actually control people rather than kill them. That is the idea of this scene here, and that's basically all they're trying to say. Now, this scene is actually an introductory scene to the rest of the game, and honestly, throughout the game it's way better explained what's going on here, because in the beginning this is more meant to be a scary scene to kind of draw you into the game. But none of this really matters, because it doesn't actually come up again. Now the blood, obviously, the venom obviously does, it's a very big point in the game, but right now it's not really the most important part of the game. Especially because the scene passes so quickly and then it's never brought up again, and then the title card comes. So, here's the title card, game invented and made by French RPG creator King, In the Narrow Falls, Laxius Power 1.2 Ultimate Version. Now you can see this game was actually made in 2002, so that says something about how old it is. So there will be some visual shortcomings, so to speak. Especially the font in which the screen is. Like, this text is already enhanced, because with the old version of the game, it was honestly unreadable at times. The number 6 was honestly just an 8, you really could not tell. So this is actually the main character, this is Random, and Random is a guy, I think he's 16 in this game, and he wants to be the best swordman of all time. Now that seems like a pretty basic character, which is true, and his name is Random. It's not some kind of bug or thing, his name is Random. And he wants to win a tournament in St. Leona. Now, St. Leona is a big city, somewhere in the Deport. The Deport is what this world is called. And then the universe is called Aquapania, but that doesn't matter right now. And he wants to be the strongest guy in the Deport. So for that, he wants to like win a tournament in St. Leona, and he wants his friends to join him in that tournament. And that's where kind of the story picks up. Now, there is a lot of interactable things in this game. Like, for example, you can interact with the sheep, and it'll run away. You can't catch it, but, you know, if you're interested in, like, small dialogue. We actually find an enemy straight away. Now, you might notice Random actually did 2 hits with his sword. You might be wondering what that's about. Random actually wields dual swords. So, you can actually tag out the swords and change one to your shield. But we're not going to be doing that. So, for this game, we're going to be picking hard mode, because hard mode actually has less save points, has less experience boosts. So it kind of shows the game in the raw state that it is, without the extra help that certain aspects of the game would grant you if you were to actually pick an easier mode. In later games, you actually also get bonus CGI and CGU if you complete the game in hard mode, so that's why we'll be choosing hard mode for these games. Now this is Sarah, which is actually our girlfriend at this point. And she is very happy to see us, and she will be just saying that she's going to join us on our adventures to St. Leona. She does not want to leave her boyfriend behind, obviously. And they're going to be talking about their third friend, Luciana, who also wants to join, as you'll see now. She comes up and she says she wants to join too. Now you can see this artwork is actually done by King on his own. I don't know whether he made someone else do it or not, but it's his original content. So they both join the party at this point, and they're actually... That's one of the things that I like more or less about this game. Your party members join you from the beginning of the game, and they stick with you for the rest of the game. Most of them. And you won't actually encounter that many characters, but they're really fleshed out to a degree. Well, in this game it's actually a bit less than in the newer games of the series. But for now you see it's Random, Swordsman, Sarah, High Elf, and Luciana, a Wizardress. Now, You might notice Luciana has Flare, Fire Tempest, Freeze, and Blitz, which are very typical spells. Fire Tempest hits all enemies, which is important. You have Sarah with Sylph's Fog and Wave. Wave is the basic heal of this game. And then Sylph's Fog is actually a spell that does damage, poisons, and numbs enemies. So especially the numbing aspect of this spell is ridiculously good. For only 2 mana, this is an amazing spell. And Random doesn't have any spells right now, but he will get some good spells. So a very important aspect of this game is that everywhere you go you can find items in random chests and barrels and boxes. So like I just did now, I just clicked one box, this box specifically by the way, and you get 240 gold, so that's really good. You really, once you play this game, you really have to like explore all the tiny little tidbits and find the chests and barrels with items in them, because there will be a lot of them. So here you have a little meeting of the Dark Cult again. This is kind of one of the few times that a cutscene actually plays in between gameplay. And he's going to tell that Earth was almost destroyed, demons of all kinds with wings, horns, elemental foes, thousands of demons spread through the green lands and started to slaughter. Basically, this guy is telling a piece of literature that describes the end of the world by demons. Now, this is not a demon, in case you're wondering. This is a monster. Him. They're talking about true demons, which will be explained later on, lots later on in the series. But the point is that these true demons are way more powerful, and they want to create an alliance with these stronger demons, so that they survive when they come to Earth, which is apparently supposed to happen. Keeping that in mind, that is kind of the subplot that is going on here. Now, we are actually playing here, and this is the world map. So this place is going to be referred to as the world map. It's just that. Now, right here you see this is the inn. The inn is nothing special for now. You can obviously just recover health there. And in the second floor there will be someone that sells you a scroll for 4,500 gold. You will see later on why you have to buy that scroll. And you'll also see where you're going to get the money. Because I know 5,000 gold sounds like a lot. We got 260 right now. But believe me, you'll get 4,500 gold really quickly. Now, one of the annoying things is that you have to actually interact with them from the right direction. So in this case, it's from here. This is the general store, Elmo Supplies. Now, you can buy supplies here, but as you'll see, there is nothing in these chests or barrels, so... And... See, this is one of the good things, though. Like, this guy talks about Fanta, and you're like, wait, what's Fanta? I haven't heard of anything called Fanta. And that's really good preluding, because Fanta is actually a place of wizards, where later in the series, you'll be able to go. And I think it's nice because it shows that the world is actually developed before creating the game. Now this is Ivine's dedicated church. It's basically a church like in any other game. It's meant to save your game. You can see that I've already got a couple save files because I've played this game before. I haven't really finished it yet, but I really love the game, so that's why I decided to do this Let's Play of it. So that's Ivine's dedicated church done. Now, down here you'll see there's a little spot. It's actually the ruins of another church. Don't know what it's for, but if you look here, you'll find an apricot. Now, apricots fully heal you. They'll heal half your mana points, and they'll poison you. So it's a bit risky to use them if you don't have an antidote. Not really the best item to use in battle because you'll be poisoning yourself, but it's a really good item if you're ever in a pinch. Now, over here is Jessie's home. Jessie is actually a very sick person, and you'll want to talk to her just to get the quest that she gives. She gives you a quest to find medication for her. You can't complete this quest anytime soon, so don't let it worry you, but you have to pick it up. Then right here, this is Karen's home. This is Sarah's host. Some backstory here. You'll learn this stuff in the prequel game, but it's not actually in this game. Random and Sarah are actually both students at the local school, which you'll find right here. The Random will refuse to enter. They're actually students at the school, and they won that from a tournament that they participated in. And they actually live in Mazul, which is another city in the port here. But they live in Rillia right now, and each of them has a host. Sarah's host lives right here, and Random's host lives in the house on top. Now, what I mean with you have to explore every single place, except the ones that I don't explore because I already know that there's nothing in them, is that you can find 75 gold here, and then if you go up the stairs, you might think, okay, this is an empty room, right? It's empty, but there is a pot here, and that pot contains 76 more gold. Now, this barrel is actually empty. It's there as a red herring, so to speak. But yeah, you have to explore every single barrel you encounter that looks a little bit suspicious, because most of them will actually have something. This is given the explorer's house. There's nothing important here, but this place will become important to the plot later. This is Bombus's house. It also has nothing interesting. This is really his library. Now, while this place has nothing interesting after this little scene here, you'll be able to pick up one powerful scroll here from Luciana. This is Luciana's room, actually. She lives here. And you'll be able to pick up Shelby's Joy, which is a powerful damaging scroll from the library in her bedroom. Now that is the only useful thing in the library. Other than that, it's just some useless dialogue, none of which is actually really that interesting. This is the weapon store. The weapon store is, well, you know, what do you expect from a weapon store? It's a weapon store. You can buy stuff here, you can buy items here, and that's about it. Now, I've explored this place before, and you can find one iced tea here. Iced tea are really great items, by the way. In case you're wondering, iced tea actually is just refreshing. It's a Miscalenus item. But in later games, iced tea will actually become a great item that heals a lot of your health. I'm actually surprised to see it doesn't do anything in this game yet, but whatever. So obviously you can talk to the owner of the shop and he'll be able to sell you quite a lot of good stuff, but we can't quite afford much of this yet. Now you'll want to buy one thing, and that is the steel fists and the chain armor. Now trust me on this, you want to buy those two items specifically. The first for random, so that he can actually participate in fights and be the tank of the team for a while. And the second reason you'll see in a bit. And then right here there's Sandy's home. Now Sandy is a very kind woman who you encounter in this house. It's actually the first time we meet her, but Random obviously already knows her. She even calls him sweetheart, so you know. Oh, and you also learn, I think, this is the dialogue where you learn that Random is actually from Mazul. Like, visit your parents at Mazul, they'll be happy, you know. Now, one good thing is you can actually open this chest and you'll actually get 80 gold coins and a coin. Now, this coin is actually a scroll. It casts Flare. It's not the best item, but, you know, if you ever really need that spell, that's the way to go. Then you find 18 more gold here, and then I don't think these barrels actually have anything. Her son is in the upper room, but that doesn't matter. So that is basically what Rillia looks like right now. Now you can also visit this room from the back, which is Pyrrhic's home. It's not really that useful, but you can talk to Pyrrhic, which is this man here, Random's host. And he will actually give you a pineapple. It's random, but it's a gimmick through these games. He actively gives you pineapples whenever he can. Now there's the headquarters here, which will actually be a very good place to visit right away, because two more characters will join your party, namely Horatia the cat and Gnidia the pet slime. They're both pets, and they're really good in battles often, but on hard mode I find it kind of tedious to grind them up to decent levels, so I generally just don't do it. Now in this scene you're basically being told how to choose your party, which is to pick the IV in pendants, which you see right here, and then you can just pick whoever you want to be in your party. So, and then you can leave through here. That is how this works. Now, if you explore this place for a while, you'll notice there's on the lower floor, which you can access through here, you can grab 270 cash. Now again, this is the way the game works. You have to explore every single bit to get some good stuff. Now this is Zobokur's house. It doesn't have anything interesting, so we're not going to be visiting it. And then there's two more locations on this lower map that you want to be visiting. But first, apparently we're being attacked. So this is Sil's Fog. It actually didn't do any statuses, which sucks. But then Fire Tempest will deal damage, good damage to both enemies. So that's how quickly fights goes generally. Now, these trees might seem useless, but there is actually a noble eagle's feather in this tree. And just like the pineapple, these two both give stats, 16 speed and 15 health. I wouldn't waste them yet. I would save these, and there's a very good reason for that. Just don't use them yet. Now we can visit the southern docks, and this place doesn't really have too much of importance. There is the counter. Now this is the counter. You might want to explore this. There is a lot of items in here, but they're very tedious to find. And honestly, I don't want to waste too much time trying to find them all. I know that there's like 4 items hidden in here, based on luck that I've had in earlier attempts at scouring this place. Now the single most important thing that you want to pick up here is this chest, which has a trout, and then I think that's it, and a sea ring. The sea ring is what you want to be picking up, because that's the single most important thing here. Why the sea ring? Well, because this is really great equipment for both Luciana and Sarah. It boosts their stats a bit, it boosts their speed a bit, which is probably the most important part. So you'll want to leave right there and then go into the northern docks. Why the northern docks? Well, there's 2 more items that you want to pick up. Now, the first item is actually that oak bow that I just picked up. And that's actually the only thing that you really need. You can find more trouts in here if you want to, but the trouts aren't that important. Now, the oak bow will actually up Sarah's damage by quite a lot, so you want to equip it for now. You'll see soon why you can immediately get a better weapon. But until then, this is a really great weapon to have. And then, obviously, a big thing about this game is as long as there's only one enemy, you can just spam them with normal attacks, and usually they'll fall after a while. Now, if you go into this tree here, you can actually visit Coriol, and Coriol is the last party member that will join you for now. So he will join your party pretty much instantly as you talk to him, which is cool. Like, that's what you want, and that is why we bought the Steel Fists, because Coriol can actually equip these. There is nothing of note in the rest of this area, so it doesn't really matter too much. So now that we're done with like the first section of the map, namely Rillia and the areas around Rillia, we're actually going to start moving towards our goal, which is St. Leona. Now you might be wondering, why are we going to St. Leona? As I said before, Random wants to participate in a big tournament, and to participate in that tournament, we have to go through this place, which is called Chanterless. Chanterless, Village of the Woods. Now, Chanterless is a pretty small village, and you'll see there's one inn right here, and that inn is where you can rest up for 5 gold pieces. This inn is really small, and the rest of the town is also really small. There's not much that you can actually do here. Now, I'm not sure, maybe there's some loot. Oh yeah, right. I'll come back to this area later because it's a very boring area to do, but you can go down here, and then I think, yeah, she'll talk a bit about the cheese. This guy's talking about the werewolf, which we'll get to later, and there's 120 gold pieces in the chests, in the barrel. So that's what you gotta do, explore these barrels all the time. This is the post office, and the post office is actually really important because you can actually get free items here. You'll get, let's see, a Sylvian rapier, a Myrmilic rope, and a sea-ring. Sarah can equip this rapier, and then the Myrmilic rope, and the sea-ring. And like that, Sarah just became one of the best characters you'll have at the moment, and for quite a while yet. This is a weaponsmith, he sells obvious stuff, and then there's this place. Now, this place is by no means the most interesting place to visit. There's a chest in the top which will, I don't know, give you antidotes? Yeah, antidote. And then there's this guy. Now this guy is a terribly boring guy to talk to, because as you can see, he'll only say ... And this is where you have to kind of know the game, because if you talk to him enough times, he'll start saying something differently. And now you might think, okay, so what? He started saying something differently. Yeah, well, get used to it, because he's going to be starting to say a lot of things, depending on how many times you talk to him. And the boring thing about this is you have to actually keep talking to him until his dialogue changes. And that can take quite a while. Now, you might be wondering, what's the payoff for this? And I can reveal to you that the payoff is not actually worth it all that much. But, you know, there's always those completionists that want to know every single itty bit about the game and every single detail. So, you know, this is something that we have to get through. And as you can see, his dialogue has changed to blah, 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 by now. And I'm not really too sure how long it takes. I haven't really ever counted how many times you have to press enter to go through this little segment. But it takes quite a while, believe me. And as it progresses, like, this is one of those things that you just can't know. Like, if you're just playing the game, you can't be expected to know that you have to talk to this guy a lot of times, and then suddenly his dialogue will change. Usually you talk one time to a person, and that's that. Now, there are also a couple chests in these series that actually contain 2 pieces of loot. One when you check it for the first time, and one when you check it again. So I would advise always checking every chest twice, unless you obviously are watching a playthrough of someone else and you know that that chest will not have a second piece of loot. But yeah, you might see that anyone normally playing this game would have given up by now and would think, okay, his dialogue changed twice, it's a nice little gimmick, but it's not going to change again. Well, it is. And when it changes again, it's going to be quite different, because it's not even going to be him talking, but I'll leave that to you. There we go. So he just said, huh, did you say something? And this guy, Random, our main character, is commenting on how dumb this guy is. And at that point, the goddess Iveen, who is the goddess of life in this game, actually rewards you for being so patient. And she grants you 5 mind points for every character in the team right now. So as you can see, I don't know if you paid attention earlier, but everyone's mind actually went up by 5. Now that is a really good reward. because it's basically for free. Like, there's not a lot that you have to do to get that reward. Now there's two more areas in this game that you might want to visit. The first one is up here, after this fight, I guess. As you can see, the fights aren't really difficult right now. The first area is up here, which is a collection of big cows. They will attack you as soon as they see you, but it's very easy to dispatch of them. Just use Sylph's Fog and Fire Tempest and you're done. If you're lucky, they'll get numbed and you have to face... They won't even be able to deal damage to you. I wasn't really lucky this time, I guess. And they're just going to be attacking me, that's fine. They don't take damage either, so, you know. It's kind of an easy fight here. And that's kind of the thing. This is a static encounter, so it's always the same encounter, but it's kind of boring to fight through because it's not really that difficult. Now, Random does learn a new skill here, which is Egress. I'll get to Egress later. And the only useful piece of loot in this place is actually the 7 beers you can find in the back. That is the only thing you'll find here. Other than that, this place was redundant. The second spot is right here, which will be an encounter with a lot of mosquito bees. Now, if you're playing this game for the first time, you might find this a difficult fight, but if you think to just summon the Sylphs, like if you know what the Sylphs do, they'll just kill this, and then Luciana's Fire Tempest will waste the rest of the bees, as long as Luciana doesn't die. Now, if Luciana is attacked by all of the bees that'll survive, she might actually die to it, and that can be really annoying because then you don't have Fire Tempest. But even then, you can just use Sylph's Fog again and you still win. So right here, we're just going to heal up, and then we'll be getting to the actual main part of this mission. Because you might be wondering, what is so special about Chantrellis? Now, this is a save point, by the way. You can save your game here. That's about it. It costs 2 gold coins, by the way. They might be wondering, okay, so what's so special about this place? Well, the special thing about this place is if you enter the town hall right here, there's nothing on the left of importance. You will be faced with this little collection of people. And they will offer you a quest to actually slay a werewolf. Now, you might want to watch. They pay you 5,000 gold pieces for this werewolf hunt. And these 5,000 gold pieces will be paid out. So that's how you're supposed to buy the scroll in the beginning of the game. From the guy in the inn. Now this guy will offer you another quest later on, so you might want to return to him after you finish this quest. He will offer you, if I remember correctly, he will offer you a quest to find a pearl. You have to find the pearl, blah blah blah. So that's something that we'll have to do later on. Now these rogues, they will attack you at random, completely at random, but they're super weak, and they give you 200 gold for defeating them. So, you know, 200 gold for a free fight, it's really easy gold sometimes. Now this is the Weaponsmith. As I said before, you have to talk to him in the right direction, which can be really annoying at times. Like sometimes you don't want to be bothered by facing the right direction, so to speak. But you have to get used to it. It's one of those things. Anyways, once you talk to the Weaponsmith, it's actually, well, his daughter doing it, but that doesn't matter. And you can actually buy a couple of good stuff here. The stuff that you want to buy is, you want to buy 1 iron sword. I actually forgot to pick up an iron sword earlier on in the game, but you can get one, so we'll be picking that up. I'll be showing you that in a sec. And you want to buy 2 of these hats. They're good. And the oak staff if you want to. It's basically the same thing whether you buy it or not, because she'll be getting a way better stuff soon enough. But, you know, if you're kind of worried right now about not having anything, you can just buy it right now. So that's about it. Now, I did mention that there is one item that I forgot to pick up, and I'll be going to pick that up right now because it's actually a really important item. Not because it's that good or anything, but because it's really useful to have. I'm not really sure where it is. It's in the warehouse. So I said the warehouse doesn't have any... I actually didn't check the warehouse, I remember now. The warehouse has 1 iron sword right there in that barrel, and you want to replace it with the blunt weapon, because you want to have double blade for this next section. So that's where you can get an extra sword, and that is basically all you can collect in the first 2 maps, being Chantrellis and Rillia, except for the first main dungeon. Now, I can see you get okay, we get attacked by a couple of mosquito bees, that's fine. Now I see that our time has almost run out for today, and that means I'm gonna be saving my game, ending the video here for now, and we'll be exploring Chantrellis Church in the next episode. So, I know that this episode is a little bit slow, a bit silent, you know. It's kind of one of those boring starting episodes that you have at the start of most games. I can't really help it. It's an introduction. You have to do those. But I promise next episode we will be exploring a dungeon, we will be getting into the main plot, we will be seeing the subplot, the demons, there will be a lot of good stuff, and we'll be slaying a werewolf. So stay tuned, stay on the Darth side of this channel, and I'll be seeing you guys next time.